Hey friend, welcome to the Self-Care Isn't Selfish podcast. I'm your host, Emily Nichols. As a Whole30 certified coach, wife, busy working boy mom, and your self-care guru, I'm here to help you start putting yourself first without the guilt. Each week you'll hear motivating and practical tips on how you can create a habit of self-care through interviews with my amazing guests or quick solo episodes with me. After each episode, you'll walk away with an action plan and feel empowered to implement what you have learned into your life. So grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine, or your favorite sparkling water, and let's do this. Hey gang, welcome back to the Self-Care Isn't Selfish podcast. Today we are talking all things CBD with my friend Jill Trimmel. She is the owner and co-founder of Juice, Love, and Happiness, the CBD brand that I personally use, and the organization called I Will Close the Gap, helping to support fellow female-owned organizations. So I wanted to bring Jill on to the episode today because I have been using CBD for a few months. I'm totally into biohacking when it comes to my health and would rather avoid medications at all costs if possible. So I decided to give CBD a try. And if you're like me, I was super confused as far as what it is, how it works. Am I going to be high? I mean, all the things. So Jill does a really great job of breaking it down for us simply about what CBD is, how it helps, and I'll share a little bit about how it has helped me as well. So Jill comes from a very diverse background, having years of executive leadership experience, and she started using CBD and came to find out there wasn't as many regulations as she thought there should be, and started digging in deeper and just thought she and her husband Paul would create their own CBD company, and that is where Juice, Love, and Happiness was born. So enjoy my conversation with Jill. Stick around to the end where I share my 3 tips to help you incorporate CBD into your self-care routine, and check the show notes. I'll have a link to Juice, Love, and Happiness and all of Jill's CBD products, and you can use the code Emily, EMILY, at checkout for a 5% off your purchase of Juice, Love, and Happiness. So sit back and enjoy my conversation with Jill Trimmel of Juice, Love, and Happiness, and I will close the gap. All right, gang, I am here with Jill Trimmel. She is the owner and co-founder of Juice, Love, and Happiness, the CBD oil I use, and the creator of I Will Close the Gap. So we're going to be talking all things CBD oil and women supporting women. But first off, I want everyone to say hello to Jill.
Hello, everyone.
Awesome. I know you guys are all saying hello to her in your cars, right? Okay, so Jill, I always start off my podcast asking my guests, what does self-care mean to you? So Jill, what does self-care mean to you?
Well, self-care means allowing myself to release thoughts and energy that doesn't serve me and my well-being and, my purpose to seek joy. And with that, when I slip up or I'm not following maybe the same regime that I think I should, forgiveness. Yes. I think forgiveness is a key element of self-care for me. Mm-hmm. And with that comes calmness. And I also, a part of my self-care is keeping a gratitude journal every morning, trying to just list 3 items that I'm grateful for. It doesn't take long. And I follow you and I follow other people that are focused on self-care on Instagram and listen to podcasts like this one.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the support. But yeah, I love that you said mindfulness and calm and forgiveness. I don't think a lot of people focus on that sometimes. So that's really great to keep in the forefront of your mind, because holding on to all that negativity, that's not going to serve you.
Yeah, I think that it is a big feed for the guilt. We talk about mom guilt, and we could really battle that with just allowing ourselves to extend forgiveness inwardly as we do outwardly. Yes. You talk about that. Like if we could just treat ourselves as we treat our friends and our family.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you're speaking my love language. I love it. So let's start off talking about your company, Juice, Love, and Happiness. It's the CBD of my choice. I use it every night, every morning. Yeah. I love it, and I've seen a lot of benefits of it, which I'll share later. But can you tell a little bit more about how you founded Juice, Love, and Happiness? And, maybe you can talk a little bit about what CBD is.
Yeah, too. Absolutely. Thank you. Paul and we started taking CBD when it became legal last year in Indiana. We were familiar with it before that point. Paul is in health education. He has been for 2 decades. I was familiar with CBD in various studies because my father has epilepsy. So, seeking research and reviewing information relative to that created awareness for us. So when it became legal, we started taking it. Paul, they used to call him Forrest Gump here in Brownsburg because he runs and runs and runs, but his body was starting to break down. I had a child later in life and was really having a hard time recovering, having just kind of hip pains, sciatica pains. And we started taking CBD, and we both found ourselves being able to run more. We weren't taking any leave. We were not creaking up the stairs. His hips not popping in the morning when he wakes up. We're not needing those 3 rest days during the week. And a wonderful, wonderful attribute of CBD is it supports anxiety. I have always battled anxiety. That's part of why my self-care regime includes a lot of mindfulness, a lot of calming exercises. So CBD has given me just that restful mind where at night it doesn't wake me up and keep me there.
Got it.
I don't know if anybody else experiences that.
I bet they do.
And sometimes I call it like the lady neck, where somebody says, look over here, and you have to turn your whole body because all of us carry so much.
Yes. All that tension up
there.
Yes.
So, that I don't have that anymore.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know. It is amazing. And so our friends and family started to take note. They wanted to buy it. I'm going to the health food store that I've trusted for years. And I'm picking up, at this point, hundreds of dollars of CBD for our friends. And I started looking and asking questions about sourcing and manufacturing plants and getting a hold of these companies and asking questions. And there were a lot of answers. So that's where Juice, Love, and Happiness began.
Okay.
Just a general touch on what CBD is. It's a natural occurring compound in the hemp plant. It's been studied for decades in Eastern culture and applied. So it's new to us here. And there are a lot of questions about it.
Okay. So say someone is going to buy a bottle of CBD. Like you said, you were going to a trusted health food source or health food store that you trusted. But I've seen it sold so many different random places, like the video store or the gas station. And personally, I'd be like, oh, I don't think I want to buy that here. But some people may, depending on what they can or cannot afford. So can we explain a little bit more about what CBD is, as far as if you're looking at a bottle of CBD, you see full spectrum, you see isolate, you see different dosages in it and stuff like that. Can you explain a little bit about what people should be looking for and what those labels mean when they look at a bottle of CBD?
Absolutely. What right out the gate, one of the first things that you want on your bottle of CBD or any CBD product is a QR code.
Okay.
And you should be able to scan that or go to that company's website if you don't have the scan app by chance. And you need to see that certificate of analysis. You need to know that this product has went through a third-party laboratory.
Got it.
And even beyond that, I would say, for us, we went to multiple third-party labs and had our products and other products tested.
Okay.
So, you want a company that's doing the due diligence to not only do the testing, but make sure they're testing it through one of the top labs in the United States.
Got it.
Sourcing. You want to make sure that your company is transparent with where their product is sourced. We have visited the hemp fields, the manufacturing plants, the laboratories that our products are created and developed, that they're grown, created and developed. As far as isolate products versus full spectrum products, So isolate is when you are just extracting only CBD. Your final product does not have any other compound elements from that plant.
Got it.
It's an isolated compound of CBD. With full spectrum, you're taking that hemp plant. So our organic Kentucky hemp is the entire plant is processed through the extraction. And with that, you get all the different compounds of cannabinoids in the plant. And there's about 103 different compounds.
Wow.
And in addition, you get chlorophyll, which I'll say chlorophyll is something Paul and I used to add to our green tea in the winter because we kind of get a little, we miss the sunshine.
Yes.
So now we don't have to add green tea to or chlorophyll to our green tea because their CBD has that in it. You get a variety of terpenes. With the full spectrum, there is some THC.
Okay. That was going to be my next question because I know there will be some other people's questions as well.
Absolutely there is. And I'll use our 750 milligram full spectrum an example.
Okay.
Federal law, the THC level has to be 0.3% or less. So with our 750, it actually has 0.062% THC.
Okay.
So ours is significantly lower, but we still say if you're in a zero tolerance drug policy career, we have some firemen and some police officers that have bought Juice, Love, and Happiness. We always recommend isolate.
Got it.
Don't take the chance.
Just in case.
There's so much research still occurring that it's just better safe than sorry. But with the full spectrum, because of all of those other compounds and naturally occurring terpenes, you do receive additional wellness benefit. There's no getting around it.
Wonderful. So how does the body receive CBD
great
oil?
question.
Yeah.
So we have an endocannabinoid system, which began being studied in Western culture in our universities in the 1980s. There's still not much going on. We'll see more and more now that
CBD's hot.
I just saw where Johns Hopkins put in a request for funding for a CBD study on humans. So I'm excited to see that come to fruition.
Awesome.
But so we have this endocannabinoid system, and there's two main receptors in that system. There's CB1, and that directly works with your central nervous system.
Okay.
Got
it.
And so with that, your brain, and that's probably where we're getting like relief from anxiety and so on and so forth. But the CB2 receptor is just as imperative. It's directly linked to your peripheral organs. With that, you get a lot of immune boosting.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's directly linked to your immune system.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. So we have something in our body already willing and ready to receive the CBD oil that will really help. So I know for me personally, when I started taking Juice, Love, and Happiness, I was having super horrible menstrual cycles.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
So I took it for a month just to see what would happen. Actually, I took it for 2 months because the second cycle came and I used to have super heavy cramping and it was like super, super moody right before my period started and like super sugar craving too, but that's a whole different story. But after taking your product for 2 months, my cycle was a totally different cycle. It wasn't as heavy. It wasn't as crampy. I felt better mentally and more clarity. And so the next month I didn't take any because, with Whole30, that's what you do. You take away things, then you reintroduce it to see how your body reacts. All those symptoms came back. So then I started taking it again the next month. All those symptoms went away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, that's been a personal benefit. But what are some of the other big benefits you've seen of CBD with your clients?
Well, really, there's an array of benefits. And you asked how Juice, Love, and Happiness started, and I told you. But how and why we've taken it to the next level is because of the customer feedback and the stories. Because as we went through our soft launch and shared this with our friends and family, we have people now that their children are off ADHD medicine because of a CBD wellness routine. We have people that are utilizing it to maintain their blood sugar levels, and it's making their diabetes much more manageable.
Right.
The anxiety, that's a big one. Some of the greatest customer feedback too is from clients that are buying it and administering it to their aging parents.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, because that's one of the Alzheimer's is one of the ailments that the World Health Organization has dictated that CBD is effective for.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. And then in addition, we have chose with our full spectrum to compound it with hemp seed oil.
Okay.
Organic hemp seed oil.
Of course.
So with hemp seed oil, and you can, on our Instagram, we share a lot of this information relative to the science, and you can see where the hemp seed oil interacts with brain health as well.
Okay.
So it's not just the CBD with the full spectrum.
Yeah. So, and I know you sell other products other than just the oil, like lotions and stuff like that. Can you share a little more about that?
Yes, I can. Another popular product that we have that people just love is Muscle Chill. Okay. Yeah, Juice, Love, and Happiness Muscle Chill. I use it 3 times a day on my elbow. I have this elbow that just, even with a daily oral CBD routine, it won't cut it.
You need something topical.
So I rub that on there 3 times a day. I love this product because it's based, the first ingredient is organic aloe leaf juice. Oh, wow. And I mean, we've used aloe for years on just about everything. So compounded with essential oils, CBD isolate. It's nice because the natural oils give about immediate relief because the CBD is not going to penetrate topically for about 20 to 40 minutes. Again, depending on the person and their body, but that's the average. From that point, you receive about 3 to 5 hours. Again, depending on the person, depending on how much you put on. But for me, that's what I receive about a 5-hour benefit. We have bath soak. Some clients say that they soak in it every night before they go to bed. Some use it just for recovery after a hard workout. Some use it when they're PMSing for their cramps. The nourishing lotion, that's a common one for women to buy to rub on their bellies. Okay. When they're having the cramps.
Oh my gosh. All right, I need to get some.
I should have brought some.
How's that saying go? Oh yeah, all things are possible with coffee and mascara. Well, that's certainly true for me, and I love to have my coffee every morning after my workout, and I don't really leave the house without mascara. So my fellow blondies, I know you feel me on this. But gang, check it out. Having my coffee every morning is part of my self-care routine, and I always take my coffee blended with nut pods and coconut oil. So Nut Pods is a dairy-free creamer. It's made from a blend of almond butter and coconut cream. I love the French vanilla flavor. It's my favorite. It's super yummy, super smooth, but even better, it's Whole30 approved. So gang, head on over to nutpods.com and use the code EmilyNichols22 to get 15% off your first order of Nut Pods. That's EmilyNichols22, EmilyNichols22. And let me know once you receive your Nut Pods what your favorite flavor is and how you take your coffee. So remember, just head on over to nutpods.com. I know more and more people, which is, I think, really, really cool to see, are moving more to like a cleaner lifestyle. They're removing chemicals from their cleaning products. They're going to more natural products, their makeup, their lotions and stuff like that. And I know that's a really important part of the way you and Paul live your lives. Can you share a little bit more about that? Because I think what you're doing with CBD just kind of stems into that, obviously.
Well, thank you. I do too. And I think anybody that knows this knows that our diet in general is a whole foods. We're heavily plant-based. And that just comes through research and reading and watching documentaries and, just being knowledgeable on what feeds our body. And again, it's similar to what you do through Whole30, just listening to how our bodies react to what we put in it. And, with that, I think anybody that follows me personally on Instagram knows that I'm a big fan of starting my boys with smoothies every morning. Yes. And I truly believe that anytime you can just put natural whole foods in your body, you're giving your body medicine every day. Right, exactly. I mean, we've relied on after long runs, we'll up our increase of raspberries and blueberries that day just for the anti-inflammatory agents within those foods.
Yes.
Years ago, David, my now 13-year-old son, was about 7 or 8. And he told me when I picked him up from school on the way home, he said, Mommy, when I get my driver's license, I'm going to go to McDonald's and Burger King and Arby's. And I was like, whoa, wait. I was like, what? And he goes, not all at once, but just, like once a week. And I thought to myself, rewind. Okay, I'm going overboard here.
Yeah, that's where restricting too much and then they just go crazy.
I couldn't. So we kind of regrouped then and tightened the reins a little bit
smart.
and try to fit in some indulgence. We don't do soda at home, but you can have a soda if we're at a restaurant.
Okay.
And what I love about that now is that they don't. He gets water.
Exactly. It's like now that they have it, they're like, it's no big deal.
Because I tell my children, think about how it makes you feel.
Exactly.
Even now they don't, but I like to keep a journal about the ways I'm eating, my various lifestyle, how it makes me feel.
Yeah. Well, it makes me laugh because I'm thinking of my youngest, Tyler. He doesn't like to drink soda very much because it makes his tummy bloat.
Exactly.
It makes his tummy bloat. And he knows that red dye makes him feel crazy and like hungover the next day. So even like at Halloween or if people offer him candy, if he knows if it's red, he'll avoid it at all costs.
I love it.
And he's only 7.
Yeah.
He's only 7.
Well, it starts young. And, just going back to the smoothies, I don't want to hone in on that, but a lot of people ask me, how do you get them to drink that? And when I started, I would just put a little bit of spinach in it and they would be like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And then we talked about it.
Yeah.
And we pulled up spinach and I told them what spinach does for their body. And they both want to run fast and they want to, and so I tried to transition them into seeing food as fuel.
Exactly.
And now every single morning, Mom, are you making smoothies?
Nice.
Yes.
I think I need to start making my kids smoothies too.
Because then I get them, they have protein.
It's
easy to make.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick.
You've convinced me.
And they love making them too.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
My 11-year-old totally could. Hopefully you'd have the lid on tight enough.
Yeah.
Not make a mess. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but hey, do your kids take CBD oil?
David takes CBD. He's 13.
Okay.
He's a soccer player. And he's just very active in general.
Okay.
Plus, he has that normal 13-year-old trying to learn how to control his emotions.
Yeah, we're there with my 11-year-old.
Yeah, so, he's aware of CBD. Paul and I talk about CBD. We're dedicated to research it every day, and then we discuss it. So he's very familiar with CBD, and he wanted to start having a daily routine himself. I love it because I haven't given him an Aleve for a very long time.
That's amazing.
I know. And because, when he's a goalie, so he's diving and he's got these major bruises.
Oh, I bet.
And, and his hip hurts and I want him to be able to sleep. So I would give him an Aleve. And I don't do that anymore. And, he'll take an extra capsule. He likes to take the capsules.
Okay.
And I do give him the isolate.
Okay. So what about, let me ask you this, because my 11-year-old gets migraines. Have you heard of it helping with migraines?
I have 2 clients that take it for migraines. Now, I've never had a migraine, but it's my understanding that you can usually kind of feel them coming.
Oh, he does.
Okay.
He does. He said it's almost like his vision gets blurry and he can feel it just coming.
Yes.
Like in his temples almost.
So I think about one of my friends, because again, during soft launch, we say we don't test on animals, but we did test on friends and family. She was riddled with migraines. And, I not only talked to her about CBD, but I talked to her about other wellness choices that she could make that I've read about that can help that. And I'm sure you're familiar with all of them. So she'll take it at the onset and kind of a higher milligram dose than what people might take daily. She takes it daily, but at the onset, she'll bump up to about a 30 milligram dose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to
and
know.
She just feels like it calms her body down and she's still getting a headache, but not a migraine, more just like pressure.
Not as intense
as
a migraine. So let me ask you this. When you're taking CBD, how long should you be taking it until because say someone takes it for 2 weeks and they're like, I still feel anxious or I still feel achy. How long would you suspect? And I know it's different for every person.
It is.
How long it would take to see effects of it, and if you need to up your dosage and whatnot. What do you recommend?
From our clients, we have seen it does vary.
Okay.
It's very unique. Some people feel like they experience benefit right away.
Okay.
Others, it's been 21 days.
Okay.
Average 7 to 10 days.
Oh, okay.
And we recommend if you're not receiving impact after that 10-day mark, bump it up a little bit.
Okay.
But like everything in every wellness journey, I again suggest like just making quick notes. How many milligrams, when you're taking it, how is it making you feel? People are like, how will I know if it's working for me? And you and I've discussed this. You don't wake up one morning and you don't say, man, that CBD is really working.
I mean,
yeah, it's subtle.
Subtle.
You're walking up the stairs and you're like, oh, my legs don't really hurt. But I did CrossFit and ran yesterday, or, oh, my husband's speeding and I don't feel compelled to point that out right now.
But it's subtle.
It is subtle. It is.
You can always up it if you're just totally not noticing.
You can, because again, I go back to the World Health Organization report relative to side effects. Very minimal at this point. What they're seeing is an overdose could create diarrhea. Okay. And then it's also revealing that there's no addictive patterns. Okay. Relative to CBD. So that's important to take. To it. And I've had people say, well, I feel like I am. Well, I'll tell you what, I do too. Because when you miss a day, that's when people say they understand the effects.
It's like when you eat more vegetables, your body craves them more. Because it feels good. You crave it more. Oh, it's just like when you eat too much sugar.
That's right.
Your body craves it.
And when I tell people, like, when you gain the benefit, you'll know. Yeah, it's subtle, but you'll know. But don't give up. That's a big thing. Don't give up. Don't quit after 10 days. Okay. Taking it regularly, the more we read, the more we research, we understand that is very important.
Okay. So give it time.
Give it time.
Don't give up. Oh my gosh.
And if you're there are a lot of good CBD brands out there. Okay. Well, there are several.
Love Happiness is probably the best.
Without a doubt, I feel the most confident with it. But that is so important. If it's not Juice, Love, and Happiness, just make sure. Do your research because there is benefit to receive. And we want people to experience this because it's been life-changing for us.
Oh my gosh. Life-changing Juice, Love, and Happiness. I love it. So real quick, where can everyone buy Juice, Love, and Happiness and find you on social media?
Well, right now we're on Instagram and Facebook at Juice, Love, and Happiness. We have a beautiful website, thanks to Kix Digital Marketing, juiceloveandhappiness.com. We have what we're calling Outpost, which will be storefronts, and they can buy Juice, Love, and Happiness in their stores, very selective stores. We want people that are focused on relationships and really creating good products for people. And then we're going to have people like you that will become field guides that will support others to understand CBD and carry confidence that you're distributing under good product with integrity.
Absolutely. And what I think is really, really cool that you're donating percentages to nonprofits. That's
been a huge part of our lives together, Paul and I, for 23 years. Even, not just giving, but giving our time. Yes. We were broke for many years. And so we just focused on volunteering our time. As we've been in the position, we've focused on both giving and of our time and our money. And we have always felt that has been one of the most rewarding elements of our life together. So for it to be intertwined in Juice, Love, and Happiness, it just has to be, or it would not be representative of who we are.
I love it. I think that's so important. And it all comes back. The more you give, you do get back in the long run. It's karma. It comes full circle.
So self-care, the more you give back to yourself,
Yes.
the more you get.
Exactly. Oh, Jill, you know it. You know it. So guys, I will include links to everything Jill just mentioned so you can go buy your bottle of Juice, Love, and Happiness. And they are very, very good at answering questions. So any questions you have, you can reach out via their website. But I want to touch on one more thing. You started an initiative called I Will Close the Gap.
Yes.
Can you touch on that and what that's all about? Because I think that's amazing as well.
Well, thank you for asking. Yes. I Will Close the Gap is an initiative to close the women pay gap. Right now, women make on average $500 billion less a year than men in comparable position with comparable experience. And so that just seems like this number floating out there. Once I started researching it, I realized that closing that gap, the impact is so vast that I can't even actually imagine how vast it is. But some of the granular things are like with children that are living in poverty. If we close the gap, we reduce the number of children living in poverty by 3.5 million. I mean, that is so impactful. It blows my mind.
Wow.
So this is not only about having more women on executive teams, which is important because It's been proven that companies are more profitable when they have more women on their executive leadership team. So what I'm going to do is create a resource for women to promote other female businesses. I've promoted accountants. I've promoted different Fortune 500 companies that have a large percent of females on their board or on their executive team. And what I hope happens is that we take this, let me step back and give you one more statistic. Women control approximately 86% of the purchasing power in this country.
Yes.
That is $7 trillion a year. So we have the control.
Right.
We just need to culminate it and use it to create change. So I've partnered with DECA in our local high school, and they're going to be working. I fed them with a lot of information, spreadsheets on women-owned businesses, and they're going to be promoting them, tagging them. So, if you need to go get a new Honda, what Honda dealership in your area has a female car salesman that you can go to? If you are not satisfied with your eye doctor, go to a female eye doctor.
Exactly.
Make that choice. Spread your wealth.
Well, and it's small little steps like that if everyone took that, that will help close the gap. If you're going to go support more female entrepreneurs or female-owned businesses, it's just going to really all pay off at the end.
I tell people when you eat out, just do a little research and eventually and ideally we'll have this platform where they can use it as a resource to find these locations. But every other, because that's 50%. That's what we want. Equality, right?
Exactly.
Find female-owned restaurants.
Yeah.
Go to a female-owned restaurant. Go to a male-owned restaurant. Go to a female-owned restaurant. Be intentional about creating equality with your own personal choices.
Yeah. Super simple to do. Super simple. You don't have to go out and try to run for a government office to help close the gap. You can just go to a female-owned business.
You just need to be intentional.
I love it. Be intentional. Awesome. Well, Jill, thank you so much. Gang, I will make sure to link everything about I Will Close the Gap is what you're going to find. It's on Instagram under I Will Close the Gap, right? And you guys, I really love following it because she does a really great job of showing female-led businesses here in the local Indianapolis area and beyond. And I think it's really great just to educate yourself. And like Jill said, be intentional with your purchases and where you're putting your money and your time. So Jill, thanks again so much.
Thank you.
I hope everyone goes out and gets a bottle of CBD. Make sure you give Jill a follow and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. So much great information about CBD and supporting women businesses from Jill. If you're like me, I was really confused as far as the science behind CBD and how it works. And I love how Jill was able to break it down so simple for us. It just makes so much more sense to me now. I hope it does for you too. So let's talk about the 3 takeaways I want you to take with you today about utilizing CBD as part of your self-care. So number 1, when you are choosing a brand of CBD oil, make sure it has one of those little QR codes on it that you can scan scan with your phone so you can find out where that hemp is sourced from. Make sure it's a USA product. Make sure there is integrity behind the brand that you're using so that you know you're getting a good quality product that's going to work. It's not snake oil. Yeah, you don't want to be having snake oil. Number 2, the biggest thing that I learned was how your body takes in CBD oil and that there's already that cannabinoid system in your body willing and ready to take on the oil and help with different ailments, whether it be sleep, anxiety, aches and pains and whatnot. So really, after you found out that good quality CBD product, use it, give it some time. You can up your dosages if you need to, like Jill said, and just give it time to see how it works with your body. But like I said, I used it as an experiment, like I do with Whole30, where I used it, took it away, and then reintroduced it. And I really did see the benefits of it, but it did take a couple of months before I did. So give it time. And when you're using that good quality product, and maybe keep a journal to kind of see how symptoms and aches and pains either stay or go away. And then lastly, my third takeaway is all around I will close the gap. Those statistics Jill shared were crazy. And what's really great is she's working with a local high school with their DECA team to really help build what she's doing with that organization. And she's actually working with Linking Indie Women as well. But like she said, do your research and know that there's a lot of power in supporting other female-owned businesses and helping to close that pay gap. You guys, it's not fair we get paid less when we have the same experience as our male counterparts. So little small changes like that, if we all do that at once, it'll really compound and add up over time. So I hope you guys found this episode useful. Remember, Jill and I are not doctors. Always consult with your doctor before using something new like CBD, but I'm all for it. I love it. Anything to biohack my health, like I said, I am down. So as always, thanks for your love and support. Please leave a rating and review on this episode if you loved what you're hearing. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So until then, remember, self-care isn't selfish.